Hey everybody, how are you all doing today? It's Michaela Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist, and I hope you all are well. I am live in Harlem, New York City, sitting outside in the sun, trying to get a daily dose of sun, and I just want to do a quick video, okay, about the sun and testosterone, how the sun affects our hormones and sex drive. I've done videos in the past about the sun and vitamin D, okay? Definitely check that video out. I'm not going to get super in depth with that, but basically, the way that our body synthesizes vitamin D from the sun is from the interaction of the UVB rays, okay, radiation, that interacts with our skin cells, and the sterols, which are cholesterols in our blood, that produce vitamin D, right? Vitamin D is produced from cholesterol, and so are all of our sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all of our sex and stress hormones, so that's cortisol, all that is formed from cholesterol backbone, right? So when people say we get vitamin D from the sun, it's because of the UVB rays interacting with this sterol, which is also why you need cholesterol in your diet, right? But you can't synthesize it if you have sunscreen on, so they're always telling people to put on sunscreen, and sunscreen's not good for anybody. It's just depending on what complexion your skin is. The darker your skin is, the more sunlight you need to get enough vitamin D, because melanin blocks the UVB rays, which makes you less likely to burn, but it makes it harder for you to synthesize vitamin D. So a fairer skinned person needs less time in the sun, and the darker somebody is, the more time they need in the sun, right? And with as much of your skin exposed as possible, especially when you're more melanated. So if you have just like your hands and your feet or your forearms and your shins, that won't be enough, so you want it to be as much as possible. And again, I did a video where I get way more in depth about that. But the thing is that testosterone is also produced from sunlight on our skin, okay? And when the sunlight hits our skin, it also activates a pathway called the p53 pathway. And this pathway activates it's a tumor suppressing pathway, right? So it helps to suppress tumors, right? And then also, it stimulates the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus gland, and tells it to secrete more gonadotropin releasing hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and what is the other one? You know what I'm saying? Oh, luteinizing stimulating hormone, right? So those hormones have effects on both the male and female system. A lot of times it's taught that like testosterone is a male hormone, right? Which is not true. Testosterone is also very much a female hormone. Yes, men have more testosterone than women, but testosterone plays a huge role in women as well, right? And it plays a role in a lot of different things. I'm actually reading a book about that right now that I'm going to share soon and do a review of soon. It's written by two brilliant scientific writers, award-winning, and they really go through like research on testosterone and how what it says in textbooks and medical books is very limited, because it's only talking about its effect on men, when testosterone has huge effects as well, and not just the negative effects. Like if a woman is taking steroids, not that, but like when a woman's testosterone levels are balanced, it has huge effects with a lot of the functioning of our body, right? But at the same time, all the hormones, estrogen, FSH, LH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, they all play roles in the male and female system, right? So we get the sunlight on the skin, it activates this p53 pathway. That then activates the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus gland that release gonadotropin releasing hormone, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone. And that then affects the testicles and the ovaries and the reproductive organs of men and women. It affects the sex drive, okay? So it makes men and women desire sex more. It increases mating behavior, okay? And there are studies that have shown this in both humans and mice. And so in vitamin D level, it also leads to testosterone as well being released, okay? Testosterone is released from the ovaries. Testosterone is released from the testicles, right? So what am I trying to say? And we also increase testosterone from lifting weights, which is why, like, one of the things in my class that I taught, I started teaching back in 2007, called Central Strength Training. The class I taught to women, and then I had a men's version called Kundalini Strength Training. And part of that education was about how hormones affect not just your health, but your sex drive, all of that. Because when you lift weights, men or women, when you lift weights, especially with your lower body, because we have the largest, most powerful muscles in our body are in our lower extremities. So when you do compound and strenuous lower body exercises, for the full body, but especially the lower body, it increases your testosterone. And the more muscle you have, the more testosterone you produce, right? But doing workouts like that increases sex drive in men and women, right? But then there are things that increase estrogen that also have effects, right? So anyhow, vitamin D is also linked with testosterone, okay? So having adequate vitamin D levels is very much connected to having adequate testosterone levels as well. And again, they're all made from a cholesterol backbone, all right? This is why, I talk a lot about fats. I love talking about fats. The fats that we cook with, the fats that we consume, the fats we put on our skin, right? There are fats that heal and there are fats that kill, okay? And if you don't understand the chemistry of fats and you don't understand, fat is extremely important. You don't even hear me talk about protein that much. I'm always talking about fats, okay? And like our brain is made of mostly fat, saturated fat. Long chain saturated fat. Hey, Ricky. Good evening. Yeah, long chain saturated fat and cholesterol. Okay, I did a whole video on the brain and optimal brain function and cholesterol. Okay, so when it comes to brain function, when it comes to the function of your immune system, and remember, our skin is also a part of our immune system. Okay, our skin is our largest organ. This is why, I talk about this a lot as well. And I did a video on tattoos. I know there's a lot of tattoo people out there. But with tattoos, you're putting, injecting very toxic inks into deep layers of your skin. I feel like I'm always chasing the sun. Now there's a cloud over me now, and the sun is down there. I think I'm going to walk so I can get back in the sun, because that was the whole reason why I came out here. And I've always loved the sun on my skin. No, hold on. And I've always found the sun to be very arousing myself, right? But to understand, the science behind it. Yeah, fats are essential for brain function. Fats are, yeah, I am in New York. Hold on. Let me flip the camera around. Let me show you guys. I'm on Riverside Drive. It's cloudy right now, so it's not as pretty as it should be. But I'm at Riverside Park. I'm trying to chase the sun. Today was a partially cloudy day, but that's what they said. But then the sun came out, and then I got outside, and now the sun keeps coming and going. Like, I really make a conscious effort to get out in the sun. But this is the island of Manhattan, uptown, which is way better than downtown. Anyhow, let me flip the camera around. Yeah, so fat is very important and critical for brain function, okay? This is the reason why babies and children who are developing need a lot of not just fat, not just any fat, but long chain saturated fat, long chain omega-3 fats, which come from animal foods, and also arachidonic acid, another one that's really important, right? And these are in foods like grass-fed butter, egg yolks, meat, organ meats, butter, that's where all of those fats are, right? I'm not talking about canola oil or sunflower oil or the oil in the oat milk, okay? Not that, all right? So that's why it's good to eat a lot of seafood and fatty fish, but also our skin and our gut, right? Arachidonic acid, which I just mentioned, is important for our skin, our brain, and our gut. I did a video on that too. Arachidonic acid keeps the tight junctions in our gut. We have tight junctions in our gut that when they're tight, it keeps things from permeating the gut and getting into your blood. That's how people get food allergies and stuff. They have a leaky gut, which is not a good, which is not a good thing. I was trying to chase the sun and the sun just, I don't know. So the arachidonic acid keeps those junctions tight, but it also does the same thing with the skin, right? So it's critical for gut health. It's critical for the integrity and health of your skin, but it's also what our endocannabinoids are made of. I did a video called, did you know that our endocannabinoids are made from animal fat, right? So endocannabinoids, we have a cannabinoid system. People have been hearing about cannabis medicine, right? But the reason why cannabis works medicinally on so many different issues with the body is because we have something called an endocannabinoid system, right? And the endocannabinoid, we have receptors over almost every organ of our body, cannabinoid receptors that cannabinoids bind to. And our body produces cannabinoids. They're called endocannabinoids that our body produces naturally, right? And they're produced from arachidonic acid. And they're produced on demand by our neurons, right? And they help to regulate every other system in the body. So we have a circulatory system, a respiratory system, an immune system, a lymphatic system, circulatory system, digestive system, central nervous system, right? All these different systems that we have in our body, they're all regulated by the endocannabinoid system, right? And our body, again, produces cannabinoids, and they're produced from arachidonic acid, which is only in animal fats, okay? It's in liver, grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter, okay? And then you got the long-chain omega-3s that you can find in shellfish, fatty fish, you can find in grass-fed milk and pasture egg yolks, right? Those are also the sources of vitamin D, okay? So if you're getting vitamin D from food, you're going to get it, the best source is going to be liver, okay? Then it's going to be cod liver oil, okay? Again, liver, all right? Then we have fish eggs, shellfish is very high in vitamin D, lard, okay? Pork fat, extremely high in vitamin D and A, because vitamin D and A work together. So those are the most potent. Then you have grass-fed butter, ghee, which is a clarified butter. The Indian people and Ethiopians cook with. It's just pure butter fat where they remove the proteins and the carbohydrates from the butter. The proteins being the whey and casein proteins, which whey is excellent for building muscle. And then the carbohydrate being the lactose. It's just pure butter fat, which is butyric acid. Butyric acid is excellent also for gut health. Super. If anybody has gut problems, super important. You want to prevent gut problems, super important. Ghee is excellent to fry in, okay? I put ghee on my skin. What I have on my skin right now is a mixture of cocoa butter, ghee, palm oil, a little castor oil, a little bit lanolin, right? But ghee is excellent. And what's good for your gut is good for your skin. Your skin and your gut are linked. The same fats that's good for your gut is good for your skin. Okay? If somebody has bad skin issues, there's definitely an imbalance in the gut. And a lot of people have heard that 70% of our immune system is in our gut. But again, so the gut is super important. The microbiome in the gut and the health of the gut, super important for your immune system. But also, the lotion I sent you was good. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. It's smart when men moisturize, because a lot of men don't moisturize. They just take showers and get dressed. But moisturizing is important for so many reasons, whether it's hot or cold outside. In the cold, it protects your skin from the cold. If you put that on in the wintertime, you'll be like moist all day. Like you go to work and do whatever, come back, your skin will not be dry and ashy. And it protects your skin from the oxidizing properties of the sun, but doesn't, the butterflies. But it doesn't block the UV rays, because blocking the UV rays blocks your body's ability to make vitamin D and testosterone. Okay? Vitamin D and testosterone. So, like I said, there are studies. And also, if a man exposes his chest and his back to the sun, he can increase his testosterone like 120%. But if you expose your genitals, your bolas, okay, your testicles, to the sun, it can increase it about 200%, okay? And same for women, okay? And so when you think about it, you think about pre-colonial times, right? Before we were colonized and we were told that, that we had to put clothes on, that it was indecent. Every place in the world where there were melanated people, sorry, it's a butterfly. Everywhere in the world where there were melanated people, they were basically naked outside. Maybe if they were in the desert, that was different, because you have those sandstorms and shit. And now, the few uncolonized tribes you may have in the world that live in places with intense sun, they're basically naked, okay? They don't have on bras, they don't have on panties, okay? And getting that sun, and outside doing stuff. Most of us are inside offices, inside cars, inside all day. The sun that's coming through your car window doesn't count. You have to be out in the sun. And again, fairer skin, you don't need as much sun, okay? The darker your skin is, the more sunlight you need. But I just know for me, I've always felt like the sun was arousing, and it always felt good on my skin, and moisturizing, because the other thing is what I just mentioned, like the lotions and the moisturizers that I use, I add animal fat. I either add ghee, tallow, or lanolin, and all of those are high in vitamin A and D. Vitamin A and D are both critical for the functioning of your immune system. I've done videos about that, so I won't get into that because I'll be talking for a long time, but I've done videos about vitamin D in the immune system, vitamin A in the immune system, super important. And again, remember, skin is a part of our immune system. But vitamin A also helps with turnover of skin, and we can absorb vitamin D through our skin, okay? It's fat soluble, and it can absorb through. So it's like you can put drugs, on topically. There are things you put on topically that can go through, your skin. And so when I said drugs, it's like vitamin D is kind of like a drug. It's actually a hormone. It's really not a vitamin. It's really a hormone, okay? And so it's very much, testosterone is a hormone. Yeah. So getting out in the sun with as much skin as you can, get exposed. Like for me, it's like if I'm walking around, that's why I like being in a walkable city. All right, and I made a conscious effort to spend a lot of my summer in New York, because it's one of the few cities where you can really be outside and walk around. A lot of times you're in the car too much. Like Chicago's walkable, but in Chicago I'm driving more. I'm not like New York. You can really just do a lot of stuff and just walk around and just get the sun on your skin. You can't get the sun on your skin when you're in your car. Okay. You can't get the sun on your skin when you're in your car. And so for me, I'm always but even if I go out the country and I'm in Colombia or I'm in Cuba or Senegal, anywhere I've been that's hot, right? I, again, like to walk around with as much of my skin exposed as possible because it's a health thing, okay? It feels good. And what it does to my skin, and I feel like the combination of what I'm putting on my skin and the sun, it's like, I feel like it's like a little turkey when you're like basting it with the fat, so it can brown nice, what I'm saying, and not be dry and shit, right? To me, the shit's complementary. I feel like the sun activates, and it makes sense too because, again, vitamin D is also made from the sun. The UVB rays interacting with the cholesterol that's in our skin. And there's cholesterol in animal fats. There's cholesterol in ghee, there's cholesterol in tallow, and in lanolin, right? So there's cholesterol in there, and there's vitamin A and D, right? So just know that testosterone is connected to vitamin D. I did a video about that too. I did a video about how testosterone affects the sex drive of the men and women. And I also did a video about vitamin A and vitamin D and strong erections and WAP. I did a video about that too. So you can watch those videos as well where I get more in depth. But they're all interconnected, right? You also want to get sun in your eyes. And you can't do that if you have on sunglasses. And I wear glasses. Got my glasses off right now. But when I get glasses, I don't get UV. People put UV in their glasses. I don't get that because you don't want to block the UV rays from getting in your eyes or getting on your skin. You just don't want to do that, right? So, So basically, I guess I've said what I need to say. The sun keeps playing with me, keeps coming and going. I'm sitting here on the island of Manhattan. You see? If you come to New York, you should come uptown. It's hilly up here. It's and it's like you could just jump in the damn river if you want to. Riverside Drive, Riverside Park. It's New York has a lot of beautiful parks. Let's see. And across the water, that's New Jersey. But again, it's a cloudy day, so it's not as pretty as it should be. Okay, but that's New Jersey, and the George Washington Bridge. Okay. So yeah, I was trying to get out, took a walk over here to get my vitamin D and testosterone, okay? When I travel, anytime I have the opportunity to be naked outside, and it's not that easy, I take it, and you should too, okay? Because it's extremely good for your hormones. There's many health benefits from getting the sun on our skin. And you know what? This idea that we need to wear sunscreen, and like again, I did a video in the past on sunscreen and sorry, flies and things keep touching me. I did a video before on sunscreen, hydration, and vitamin D. Nobody should use it, right? It's just that depending on how dark your skin is and where you are in the world, you need to maybe get more or less sun. But as I was sitting here, because I'm always doing research, no, sunscreen's not for anybody, right? Because it can cause skin cancer in every color skin, because everything in sunscreen is cancer causing. Sunscreen blocks the UVB rays, which prevents your body from making vitamin D, and vitamin D is anti-cancer, super important to prevent cancer, and it kills cancer cells, okay? Also, the sun, those UVB rays stimulate a pathway called, I think, P53, which activates anti-tumor genes, okay? And the lighter your skin is, right? Like if you're from Ireland and you go to Jamaica where the sun is really strong, you might be in that sun for 10 minutes and burn. You don't want to try to extend that time because we get vitamin D from the sun, but the sun also destroys our folate, right? So the darker your skin, the more sun you need, because melanin is like natural sunscreen. But blocking the UVB rays blocks your body's ability to produce vitamin D. So the darker your skin is, the more sunlight you need. A lighter skinned person needs less sun, but they don't want to try to artificially extend their time in the sun by using sunscreen, because when you burn, that means that you've caused genetic damage, okay? Folate being destroyed by the sun. Folate is necessary for cellular reproduction. I mean, the reproduction of our DNA when our cells reproduce. So if you're depleting your folate, you're going to have cells, mutations in your DNA, which can cause cancer, okay? So for so many reasons, it's not good. And I said, while I was sitting here, because I'm always researching, I said, let me research when skin cancer became a thing and when sunscreen came out. And it seems that skin cancer didn't really, one article says the 80s, one says a little bit in the 70s. It says that it's been on the rise like crazy since the 80s. The first person that invented sunscreen was like in the 30s. Because I said to myself, you know what? I bet you skin cancer is coming from not just the sunscreen, but the lotions that people use. A lot of people, like, they're using baby oil, and they're using any lotion from the store that has all these chemicals in it. All that shit's bad. Just pick up, if you buy Jergens lotion or any of that commercial lotion, go research the chemicals. Go look up the toxicity of the chemicals in there. And you'll find out that all that shit that you're putting on your skin is cancer causing. And some people are doing that with multiple things. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a woman, our makeup is toxic. I do wear makeup sometimes. I don't wear it every day, but I do wear it sometimes. But there's women who have on tons of makeup every single day. Then you're putting toxic perfume. Then you're, some people might be perming their hair. But not just that, you have what you're putting on your skin. And a lot of people, men and women, are putting like toxic lotions or using regular ass chemical ass soap. All that stuff adds up. It all adds up. So when it comes to your skin, it's what you put on your skin, but it's also what you put in your body, in your gut, what you consume orally, and what you put on topically. And your skin and your gut, the health and the integrity of your skin is completely related to the health and integrity of your gut. So if somebody's having like different blemishes or acne or whatever going on with their skin, there's a gut issue. There's an imbalance of gut bacteria, so that has to be paid attention to. And I have videos where I talk about that as well. But anyhow, I think I'm done with this. I really just want to talk about the sun, getting the sun in our skin and how it increases our testosterone in both men and women. Increasing your genitals to the sun increases the testosterone by a significant percentage. Many studies have shown that sun on the skin of humans and like animals, especially like mice and stuff, has shown that it increases mating behavior, testosterone, sexual desire, and other hormones. Okay, and it's anti-cancer. All right, so I'm going to end that there. You can check out my other videos. If you learned something from this, please like it, please share it, and check out my other videos. Okay, I hope you guys. Yeah, the best time to get sun is from 10 to 2. The dermatologists tell you the opposite. They tell you, everything that dermatologists tell you is wrong shit. Yeah, you want to be in the sun during the hottest time of the day, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. when the sun is directly overhead. So this sun right now, even though there's clouds blocking it, even if it was out, I wouldn't. Yeah, you want it to be during that time, okay? For sure. And you want to get in your eyes too. So you want to avoid the UV, sunglasses. I mean, if you're skiing in the snow, like in a sunny place in Colorado, in Colorado, and the sun is bouncing off the snow, yeah, you can do sunglasses. But generally, you want to get the sun in your eyes. I talked about what improves testosterone all in this video, so you can watch it over. And I have other videos where I talk about what improves testosterone. And I'll do a future video. Or maybe I could say it real quick, but I have videos where I've done that. Strength training. Okay? strength training increases testosterone. Eating a high cholesterol diet, eating things like liver and eggs, steak, seafood, shellfish, oysters, okay? So you got, because testosterone is made from cholesterol. Zinc, which is very high in seafood and red meat. Also, for men, okay, and again, a lot of things they tell people about health is the opposite. So there's constantly this talk about porn and how porn is destroying men and destroying men's sex drives and erections. And, you know, making general statements can be a little unfair. And sometimes you need to put things in context and focus on, like, define exactly what you're talking about, okay? Because maybe depending on what kind of porn and da-da-da, maybe that's true. But what is also true is that men being sexually aroused or looking at things that arouse them, or, you know, as men age, being around young, attractive women, that actually keeps men's testosterone levels up as well, okay? Now, I don't know if they've ever done, now I'm curious to wonder if they've done those kind of studies on women. But there's something else I had to say about women with that as we age that I don't even want to get into on Instagram. I'll save that for my subscriptions on IG, or maybe on my OnlyFans page, because some things I'm like, I mean, maybe I'll talk about it one day, but I just don't. Because when you're a science person, when you're an artist and a scientist, you have to be open-minded. A lot of people try to put so-called morals, okay? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I don't like bugs and shit on me. That was actually a butterfly, so hopefully that was good luck.
To be fair, I didn't know I was.
Butterflies and flies keep touching me. Anyhow, that shit banged into me. You saw the butterfly? Oh, look, there's butterflies on my dress. There's butterflies on my dress. I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what the hell I was saying. Oh, people try to, because their religion said that this is wrong and this is immoral, and, you know, people shouldn't be whores, and, you know, you shouldn't do this and that. They want to impose that on nature, right? So there's nature, and then there's what society says is right, and what we're supposed to be doing, and how we're supposed to be about our sexuality, blah, 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 right? Which a lot of it is coming from post-colonials, coming from colonization and religion, okay? Now, I'm not going to get super into that on this page because this is supposed to be my nerdy science page, okay? Even though it's interconnected, and this is just the truth. So, this is how I think about the body. I'm gonna let spirit guide me and dive into it a bit. You have to think about, my approach to the body, right? Like I always say, there are scientists that seek to understand nature because we respect it. And we know that nature knows the natural order of things in balance more than we could ever understand, right? Mother Nature, the great mystery, okay? So you have scientists that seek to understand nature, and then you have scientists that seek to manipulate and control nature, okay? I'm the one that seeks to understand it because I respect it. I feel like when you try to control and manipulate nature, it backfires on you, and it's not healthy. It's never healthy. And health is my goal and my focus. I care about that. Some people don't, right? So when you care about that, then, all right. And I haven't been indoctrinated. A lot of practitioners have been. So now with that being said, as women age, you hear a lot about women. Where am I? I'm in the island of Manhattan. Manhattan is an island, which is uptown New York City, Harlem. This is the Hudson River. Okay. So, you hear a lot of talk about women taking hormone replacement therapy as they go through menopause. And there was always talk about, women taking estrogen. Because as the woman goes through, like she's premenopause or postmenopausal, a woman's vagina can atrophy. It can get drier, which makes sex uncomfortable. And so they start giving women estrogen cream. And then they start realizing, testosterone also is very important for the integrity of the vaginal muscles, right? Keeping them healthy and thick and just the integrity of the tissues, right? Testosterone and estrogen and DHEA, they all play roles, okay? And so now you have women using these creams to try to prevent and cure, vaginal muscles, vaginal tissues that have thinned out and dried out because of hormonal changes. So I'm like, okay, I think, what did women do before the pharmaceutical industry decided to invent these creams, Because we've been here for hundreds of thousands of years, and people did, it's not true that we're living longer now. That's not true. We're actually not, and we're sicker than we've ever been since we've been on the planet. That's the real truth. So I'm like, what did people do before? And, people talk about how semen is full of nutrients. Like, semen is high in protein and zinc and vitamin C and B vitamins. That's true. But one thing that people don't talk about is the fact that it's also very high in a lot of hormones, hormones and other factors that neurotransmitters as well, So what hormones are in semen? Well, you have testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, the LH, FSH, all of them are there. So now every woman may not have access to this, but if there's a woman who has a male partner, she has a male sexual partner, and she's premenopausal, postmenopausal, that's one way to get those hormones naturally. The vaginal things go through our skin easier. They go through our skin and enter our bloodstream very easily. That's why you don't want to put anything on your skin that you can't eat. But the mucous membranes, are even more absorbent. The mucous membranes, the anus, the vaginal canal, those are mucous membranes, And that was kind of weird. Didn't expect that, little boy. So, again, and they're giving the woman, the pharmaceutical industries are making the creams for the woman to use internally. So, these hormones are important, that's all I'm going to say, And so that's one way to increase testosterone in a woman, as well as her strength training as well, maintaining her muscle, because the more muscle you have, the more testosterone your body produces. Our skin is an endocrine organ, and so, which means that it produces hormones or stimulates something to produce hormones, stimulates the production of hormones. Our skin, endocrine organs, and so are, I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. That's what I meant to say. And muscle, Skin is an endocrine organ, and muscle is too. So muscle secretes testosterone. So the more muscle you have, the more testosterone your body produces, and that's a man and a woman, right? So you increase your testosterone, do what you do physically. Doing too much aerobic exercise, like jogging for miles or doing long, moderate, slower paced stuff for a long time, like jogging for miles, that decreases your testosterone and decreases your muscle. You don't want to do that, okay? You'd be way better off jogging. Not jogging, sorry. Sprinting, that's what I meant to say. Sprinting. Sprinting increases your testosterone. It builds muscle and burns fat. Whereas jogging burns fat but also burns muscle. And we don't want to burn muscle. Muscle is the metabolic tissue of our body. The more muscle we have, the more fat we burn. So if anybody's trying to burn muscle, if anybody's trying to burn fat, if you're trying to burn fat, you always want to increase your muscle. Very important, right? And that increases your testosterone. And after you do a strength power workouts, that increases your testosterone in men and women, especially when you work your lower extremities. For men, it's also certain visuals and sexual arousal. Yeah. Oh, and the sun. Getting the sun on your skin increases your testosterone in men and women. So I'm going to end this video. Sprinters be jacked, yep. Yep. Isn't it lovely out here? New York City. Let me see. So yeah, the sun's gonna shine in a damn camera. It's nice down here. But that's also one of the reasons why I appreciate seasons, because in the summer I really want to be outside and get sun on my skin. I feel like a loser if I'm in the house all day, but it's like you can't get work done when you're outside in the sun. Can't get work done, right? So it's like I feel like I can't be as productive. Look at all the people with the jet skis. I feel like I can't be as productive. So in the winter I can stay in the house for like 2 days just doing work and I don't feel guilty. Hibernation season. But when the sun's out, I'm trying to get the sun on my skin as much as possible. So I'm trying to like make my schedule around that. But it's hard. But it's 5:41, and it's kind of partially cloudy, so I'm losing my sun. But I think I made my point. If you learned something from this video, please like it, please share it. If you joined it late, you might want to go back and listen, okay? And follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and check out my other videos on this topic. Hope you guys are have a good day, and I'm gonna talk to you later, okay? Bye-bye.